Hello everybody, this is DoctorJefe, Internet Psychologist, playing Towns again. And in this video I'm going to go over combat as well as population growth. So let's get right into it. I'm going to go back to the jungle map. I'm going to continue this game. I progressed a little bit further, played about 2 to 3 hours since the last video that I made. So the town's going to look a little bit more built up. As you can see, I have a barracks right here. Been covering up my mason area. Been building paths, actually. These pavement paths allow your citizens to move a lot faster when they're walking on them. As you can see, they get a little speed boost. And here's my barracks full of the soldiers. This is where they can stay. You can give them beds to sleep in. They can store weapons and armor in these cabinets here. And we can control them by clicking on our soldiers tab. So here's our group, the Fisters, and they are ready for battle. They're all armored up, have some new goblinite armor with some bone swords. Pretty awesome stuff. But first, let's actually add some more soldiers. So we can go to the Citizens tab, click Convert to Soldier, the last one over there. Let's have 4 more soldiers. We want to make sure that we have enough people to go and fight, and we don't want to lose any people. So now we've converted them into soldiers. In order to send them out into battle, well, what we're first going to have to do is assign them to the group. So let's assign them to the first group. And now we have 8 soldiers in our group. Now, when they're set on guard mode, this means that they're going to guard any civilian who comes under attack. And they're basically just going to stay in the barracks the whole time, not doing much. If we want to send them out into battle, though, we're going to have to change them into a patrol group. And the one thing that I'm going to want these people to attack, in the last video you guys saw that my land was a thriving ghost town. There's haunted ghosts everywhere. I managed to kill off some of them, but there's still a bunch of them over here. I'm going to want to kill them off before I try and grow my population, just so that these ghosts aren't attacking my civilians. So in order to send my soldiers out here, I'll have to have changed them into patrol group, and then we can add a patrol point. Now this is going to send all my soldiers over there. Unfortunately, the soldiers are only going to continue to patrol while they still are well fed and have enough sleep. So it's good to have a large group, such as 8 soldiers, so that way you can have some people over there even while others are getting food and sleeping. So let's see, I see them coming over here right now. And once they get to that patrol point, they'll automatically attack any enemies within their range. It seems to be like about a 2 to 3 square range. So we've already killed off one of these ghosts. And what you're going to want to do is create new patrol points and remove the old ones. That way they'll continue to follow your commands. So let's add a patrol point over here. And remove this one so that we don't have people going over there and doing nothing. Alright. Been actually doing pretty good killing all these ghosts. Yeah, there we go. Just a couple more ghosts to kill. And also make sure that when you're doing this, you are setting these patrol points on the correct levels. So you're going to want to set them on the ground. As you can see, I have to go up and down between the levels in order to set good patrol points for my units to go to. Alright, so you can see this guy's going back already, needs to get some sleep. Oh, better go down here to the right level to remove the patrol point. Excellent. If I remove the patrol point, they'll all just start dispersing back to the barracks. I think we only have one more ghost to take care of. This guy over here. Did I add the patrol point correctly? What's going on here? It does get kind of difficult sometimes to find out where you're supposed to be sending them. Why are these patrol points not showing up? want them to mine that. Let's remove that patrol point again. Cancel the order for mining. I want them to come attack this ghost over here. There we go. Yes, the level pathing is kind of difficult to work with, but you'll make it work eventually. So let's remove all the patrol points, and all the ghosts are dead. So now we're going to want to grow our population. We only have 16 civilians and 8 soldiers for a total of 24 people living in our town. Now in order to attract new people, like I said, you're going to have open personal rooms. So here's some open personal rooms that new immigrants can go and live in. And what we're going to need to do is increase the happiness of our population. You can see how happy they are by hovering over each civilian. So as you can see, they have 25, 12, very low happiness overall. Let's check how our soldiers are doing. Their happiness is at 100. Now this is because happiness increases when they see decorations, such as these tombs, these memorials to our fallen civilians, as well as these goblin pikes, and even other more general items like a chessboard, harps, bone candles. These make your citizens happy. They like to live in a well-decorated town. But another way to increase their happiness is to have them being idle. That means they don't have any tasks to do. Of course, I'd be happy if I didn't have to do any work. So first thing you're going to want to do is make sure that you have enough food harvested for them to all be a bunch of idle, lazy citizens. So I'm going to have them harvest this giant banana and mushroom farm that I have right here. As you guys can see, I also created a giant bird farm, Scootin' Beatin' farm. Create fences so that they all just stay in this area and they aren't wandering throughout your town like a bunch of crazy birds. And then you can just set up your little farms in there from the buildings tab. Create the Scootin' Beatin' farm. So I'm just going to wait. Actually, this should be enough food for them. So, in order to get your civilians not doing any work, you're gonna have to make sure they have no tasks. Now, what you could do is manually go in here, tell them to turn off all the tasks of gathering all these items, or all the tasks of creating armor and weapons. You'd have to turn all of these off. Now, that would be a real big pain in the ass. What I want to show you is a shortcut way to make them all have no work to do, and that's by converting them all into soldiers. As we saw in this other tab, these soldiers in our group have very high happiness because they don't have a lot of work to do. There's not a lot of enemies to kill. And now that all these guys are soldiers, they're going to pretty much have nothing to do either. And what I can also do is just add them all to the Fisters group, and that means they'll all stay in that one barracks area. And I've decorated the barracks with some chests, some candles, all sorts of stuff, so that their happiness will rise even quicker. Wow, that's a lot of people. So now that I've set them all to be soldiers, we should, in a very little while, see a lot more immigrants arrive in our city. And while we're waiting for that to happen, let me just go down a couple levels and show you this large dungeon. This is 4 levels down. Quite a large dungeon. Who's this? A ghost down here. And my heroes have been exploring it. Your heroes are going to want to explore the dungeons and fight the creatures going downwards rather than fighting any of the creatures on the top layer of the world, which is why I had to create the soldiers to go and fight off those ghosts of the heroes. Yep, these soldiers are doing well exploring this dungeon. To cycle between them quickly, you can press the H button. Here we have a archer, another archer, a knight creature. I don't know what this guy is. He's definitely doing good slaying all these goblins over here. You can always check on them, see how well their health is. But once they reach a level higher than 10, they're pretty much going to be able to take care of themselves. This guy's taking on a bunch of spiders, and he does not seem to give one single fuck. He is killing them all with ease. Now, a thing that you may want to do to help your heroes explore the dungeon is kind of mine little passageways. So the dungeon already has passageways built into it, but if you want to get your heroes there quicker, you can mine areas like this. I mined an area through here so that they can go more quickly through. That way they can continue to explore and get to the unexplored areas more quickly. Oh, look, immigrants have arrived. So that was about 1 to 2 minutes, and we already got new immigrants in our town, just by setting all of our people to soldier status. Now, we don't want all these people to be soldiers all the time, otherwise no work's going to get done. So we're just going to go back to the tab and convert them all back into civilians. I do like to keep a couple people on soldier status, just in case some creatures attack your town, which starts to happen once you get to the lower levels. There'll be sieges, in which a bunch of monsters will spawn outside of your town. And while most of the civilians who are armored can take care of those enemies pretty quickly, which is why you should always click on them and make sure that you auto-equip them, it's good to have some soldiers in there to protect your town. So, this has been a brief tutorial on combat, as well as how to grow your population. Hope you guys have enjoyed this, and I'll probably be posting some more videos of some later game activities once we mine a little bit further down. Maybe some tutorials on mining as well as weapon and armor crafting. But until then, make sure that you guys take care of yourself.